Hello and welcome back to another episode of Animal Crossing New Leaf with K and K Play. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Kendra.
Alrighty, we're gonna put this this gosh dang alien that we got, that Metroid, the fortune we got last time. We're gonna put that up for the flea market space just because it's cool. We're gonna. Oh, you can't. We'd have to just straight sell it, I bet. Change it again. Oh, that stinks.
That's disappointing.
Well, we'll just straight sell it then. Want to sell? It must be because it's a fortune item.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, because we can just straight sell it, but they can't auction that, I guess. Sweet. 200 bells to have an alien not, you know, attached to my brain. Yeah. Well, one, live in my house, two, devour my brain. Alright. So let's shake some trees. I'm thinking tree shaking is gonna be pretty rad.
Thinking we always shake trees.
I mean, we kind of do. Yeah. Oh, there's a spider, but I don't have a net to catch him.
Aww. Love that we went for like a similar sound effect for that.
Yeah, that's great. Let's try and catch this tiny little fish.
Tiny little fish.
Yeah. Wonder what it is. It's another crawdad. Or crawfish, whatever. Same thing.
I know. I wasn't gonna correct you.
I actually have a story to tell you.
Oh yeah?
Related to crawfish. There was one day, back when I was like a kid, we had to like, it was like science class, or biology or whatever all it was. And we were basically identifying what like a crawdad was. Like we were looking at it and like identifying what all parts were on it, like the legs and the thorax and all that other, you know, happy junk.
Okay.
And there was a girl in my class, and I cannot remember her name at all, but it was one of the first times where I think I'd ever learned that people can have like the most ridiculous like fears ever. So she saw a crawdad completely immobilized in like a little like tub, and this crawdad is just chilling. It's not moving, it's not scuttering, it's not scuttling, it's like just hanging out. And she, just at the sight of it, burst into tears. So just immobilized with fear of this crawdad. And I remember asking, like, what's up? Like, what's the ish? And she's like, it's, nah, I don't like it. It's gonna attack me. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's not. Oh, yeah, that's one of the balloon presents, but we don't have the slingshot to get it, so.
What a shame.
I know, bummer.
But I also cannot shame anybody for having, like, paralyzing fears of things that they shouldn't, because I've got a few of those myself.
Well, no, and I get that, and I'm not making fun of her. The thing, though, that, like, blew my mind at the time was I'm like, what did she think is gonna happen? Like, it's gonna be kind of cool. Like, this crawdad's kind of just hanging out, and no one hurt the crawdad, no one touched the crawdad. We just, like, let the crawdad be and maybe, like, poked his butt with, like, an eraser to, like, move him so we could see, like, another side of him. And we let him out. And he was like, alright, see ya. I think at the end of the day we did have a crawdad race, which I thought was pretty fun.
That's cute.
The crawdads were not really, I guess, aware that they were racing, because they did not have the, like, the Herculean spirit that I think we all sort of assumed they would. They weren't...
No sense of urgency?
Yeah, they weren't really, like, it wasn't like their Olympics or anything. They're just like, I'm a crawdad.
I'm just gonna be here.
I'm gonna go hang out with my kids after this. Because they're dads. And if you call it a crayfish or something, stop it. It's a crawdad.
No, you can call it whatever you want, depending on where you're from and what they call it.
Kendra, excuses. It's a crawdad.
Nah.
Because I like a fish that's got some, you know, paternal instinct.
You're not the boss of linguistics, I'm sorry.
I'm the boss of a crawdad.
No.
If I had a crawdad, I could tell it what to do.
I don't know if it would listen.
I mean, do they even hear? I wonder if they can hear. Probably not,
sure.
right? I don't know that they have, like, ears. They've got, like, antennae. They probably feel like the vibrations of me talking more than they would actually, like, hear me. But anyway, let's catch this other fish. On the topic of fish. Come on, fish. Come on, fish. Ooh, overshot. Yeah. Fish. Yeah. 1. And 2. And 3. Boom. Well, so I guess my point of saying the story is, one, I just thought it was interesting at the time. Oh, we already got that one. But it's like one of those things where it's like, you know what? The reaction was in my classroom. Everyone was like, it was one of those things where it sort of like reinstilled my like hope that children aren't just cruel little monsters, because there were people who would go and like, they're like, all the girls in the class all came up and gave her like a group hug to let her know that they're like, they made like a human shield, like, no, this crawdad is not going to get you today.
Aww.
We're in it. We are like, we got your back. And I'm like, you know what? And I sort of, at the time I was like, huh, that's a thing. Like, that's a thing that's happening. But like looking back on it today, I'm like, you know what? I think everyone could use a handful of friends, if nothing more, to prevent crawdad attack. So if you've got any friends that have saved you from a crawdad, or would be willing to if necessary,
Or from any other irrational
yeah,
fear.
like if you're like terrified of sponges or something, and they're like, nah, we use bristle brushes in here, like we're on it.
Or if you're terrified of silverfish.
Yeah, or
and
like,
you have
oh,
someone
yeah.
who will cut them in half for you, like
don't,
I do.
Don't worry, those things are like, those like straight out of the mind of H.R. Giger. Like they're like nature's face huggers. Those little things.
They're so terrifying.
Well, it's just it's wild to me, because it's like they could come in all kinds of sizes. They could be like the tiniest little thing, like an inch big, kind of like this little fish we're catching. But then sometimes they'll be like 4 inches long, and like they've got girth, and when you cut them, you see the goos flow out, and you're like, oh, I'd really rather not this. Oh, a pale chub. That's what my friends like to call me when I was a kid.
Oh no.
Pale chub. Yeah, I didn't always get the most sun when I was a child, but that's okay.
You get more now.
I sure do. By the way, folks, if you don't, for whatever reason, get the opportunity to go outside and sort of do your thing. And,
Why didn't you just collect the money?
I can't do it while I'm in there. I gotta do this, and then I'm gonna pick it right back up. But it's one of those things where if you don't get that, I would highly recommend definitely go to like GNC or something. Get you, or even Costco. They've got a bunch there. You're gonna want to get yourselves some like D3 vitamins. They're awesome, especially if you don't get a ton of sunlight, because I know a lot of people work in offices, which my heart goes out to you.
Especially if you have seasonal depression like I do.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, well, and also, the reason most people typically get sick in the winter is not because they're not, like, eating differently or whatever. It's because they've got way less sunlight to kind of, like, make sure that they don't get sick. And, like, D3 is one of those things where you typically only get that from being in sunlight, as you absorb it from sunlight. But luckily, science is cool, and we figured out how to put that into, like, a little tiny pill. But anyway, not to become an infomercial. Ooh, what's this thing? A louch. Loach. It wasn't hard to approach. The puns are pretty good in this.
I love them. I love puns so much.
They're pretty great. But
I make really awful puns sometimes. Maybe you'll actually get to hear one at some point.
I'm sure they already have, actually. We recorded quite a few episodes at this point.
Yeah, but I don't know if I've gotten very punny, like, other than the puns in the game.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, then...
You hear my puns all the time.
Oh, yes.
Whether
Yes,
you
I
want
do.
to or not.
Sometimes against my will. Let's go back and give these other specimens to Blathers, and then I think we'll call it an episode.
Sounds like a plan.
Alrighty. So, well, I guess in recap, everybody, make sure that you get a lot of sunlight, or at least supplement with a D3 vitamin. And if you're afraid of crawdads, that's alright, because, there's no crawdad more frightening that can't be overpowered by friendship.
Aww.
Yeah.
And beware of silverfish.
Yeah, silverfish, if you see a silverfish, do not be like, oh, that'll be fine. It's just gonna go and leave us alone. No, it'll come back and it'll be like 4 times bigger.
Ugh.
Yep. So, I highly recommend, and again, anyone out there who studies bugs, good for you. come if you want to come and pick him up and take him home and, you know, put him to bed, I'd be happy to let you do it. But in the meantime, I'm going to pull out my box cutter and those guys are going to be laid to rest.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Less of them that I have to see and get freaked out over, the better.
I will say, if there is like a Fallout style like cataclysm, I still think the pale chub is pretty fun. But if those things become irradiated, kind of like the rad roaches, the real cool radical roach, from like Fallout, I'm probably gonna have to get a machete or two more than I've already got. But we've now given those to Blathers. You want to go see him? Let's check him out.
Let's go look at the fishes.
Yeah, and then we'll call it a day.
Our own personal aquarium.
Yeah. I think, so I don't know if you guys know this, but we do a bunch of different stuff online. Like, I've got a bunch of different web stores, and again, like I said in the past episodes, I'm a graphic designer. I do a lot of production. So I'm actually, like, most known for making pins and, like, vinyl decals and stuff. But I actually really am getting into, like, Animal Crossing again since we've been playing it. I'm like, I wonder if I should, you know, make like some different, I guess. Oh, there's the pale chub. Oh! Hello!
Bubbles!
Oh, that's neat. It shows you, and it's apparently in, like, Hebrew, or whatever this language is.
Animalian? I don't know.
Yeah. Crossian. Crossnese. There we go.
Oh, Bubbles is, like, got such a cute personality.
What's the latest? Hope the museum gets more fish for the exhibit. It's a little empty in here right now. Dude, I'm working on it. Like, I just dropped 2 more off. While you've been here, probably. But
it's okay.
Yeah. Alright, folks. Well, we're going to go see if we can get some more fish then, I guess. And we will see you next time on the next episode of Kevin Kendra Play Animal Crossing New Leaf. We will see you then.
Bye!
Bye!